please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hello and welcome to Business Lunch. I'm Nisha Podar and with me is Mangalam Malu. Mangalam, good afternoon. So markets at this point doing well, in fact closer to the high point of the day as far as Sensex and Nifty are concerned. They are inching towards 0.5% gain in the trading session today. Bank Nifty is the one which is really outperforming in trades today. A lot of it is really coming in from HDFC Bank, which because of the SEBI's norms on FII trading window has been really revving up. But the mid-cap universe, that's really dragging the markets down. It has been a point of worry and has seen some volatility over the past few trading sessions as well. And now if you look at the advanced decline ratio, well, the market breadth is more skewed towards the declines, also because the mid-cap index is really not participating in the kind of euphoria we are seeing in other frontline indices. But it's futures and options expiry as well, Mangalam.
Absolutely. And while it is futures and options expiry, just keep an eye out on the Nifty. 10,660 is where it is, which is exactly where the 20-day moving average is as well. In the past, it has faced a few speed breakers out there, so we'll keep an eye out on that. However, the smart money doesn't believe that there would be wild swings on either side for the Nifty, given the sort of writing that we've seen on the 10,600 put as well as the 10,700 call. That's the 10,600 call. The 10,600 put has seen a lot of writing, as well as the 10,700 call. So we'll keep an eye out on that. No wild swings expected as far as the smart money is concerned. We'll watch out for that. But talking about wild swings, one stock on our radar right now is Shankara Buildpro. Just pull up the intraday chart of the stock. Earlier in today's trading session, the stock plunged about 20%, and from there it has seen a sharp recovery and overall rebounded almost 18% off the low point of the day. So is there something that is perhaps spooking the street? Well, let's go across. We are joined by the management of Shankara Buildpro, Mr. Sukumar Srinivas. He joins in. Mr. Srinivas, there have been wild movements on the stock price in today's trading session. Something that you've heard in terms of any individual institutional investor selling stake in your company, or any development in the company that the street needs to apprise itself of?
I think the developments is consistent to whatever we've been saying. So there's nothing dramatic or nothing special that has happened in the last couple of days for the stock to swing wildly. We have noted that it did plunge and then it's recovered. So I think this is more of a market phenomenon, and I think probably driven by, random rumors or something like that. I would just like to use your forum to assure all our investors that all is well. There's nothing, unusual or different that is happening as far as the company operations go.
So, Mr. Srinivas, just wanted to know that did some of your big investors reach out to you regarding some sort of a query, and after that the stock has really recovered? Was there any query from any of your shareholders, or did you reach out to any of the big investors as well?
Nothing specific. In fact, I'm traveling currently, so there's been nothing really specific as such that that people have been reaching out to us.
Right, Mr. Srinivas, from your notifications to the exchanges, we gather that you're currently meeting a whole host of investors overseas. If you could tell us the reason for that, are you looking to raise some funds?
We have been toying with the idea, and so yes, we are looking at to see whether there's a possibility of raising some funds. Because as a company in the last 7 years, we really have not raised any funds directly into the company. We did go for an IPO about a year and odd ago, where it was largely a secondary sale that we did. So we gave an exit to our PE.
What's the quantum of the funds you're looking to raise, and the reason for which you are looking to raise these the funds?
We are looking to raise in the region of around 200 to 250 crores. And we are looking, because we have seen that the market is very ripe in our particular area. There is a lot of acquisitions and opportunities to buy out businesses. We have done a couple of acquisitions in the last 3 months, and we found that it's a fairly good model to, apart from our organic growth, which we are still projecting at the existing guidance that we've given. We're also looking to see whether we can accelerate our growth process. So
200 to 250 crores for acquisitions is what you're looking at, Mr. Srinivas. What are the targets that you've identified? Yes. Is it something to do in the same space as you, which is retail of building products?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And how many stores are you looking to acquire inorganically? What does your current store number stand at?
See, we are at about 130 stores currently, and that will continue to grow in an organic manner to about 15 to 20 stores in the current year, which will continue to happen. And we have been, as I think it's already aware in the public domain, that we did make a small acquisition in Chennai about 5 months ago, where we acquired a 3-store chain. And we also acquired a 3-store chain in Bangalore. And we are looking at specifically new geographies in the south and newer product categories to sort of fast forward our growth in these categories. So that is exactly what we're looking at currently.
So, Mr. Srinivas, when you talk about growth, what is it that you are looking at? Is it more beefing up and making your overall portfolio meatier? Or are you also looking at getting better margins? Because your margins in Q4 FY18 dropped on a YOY basis to 7.1%. So it had come down by about 0.4%. So is that also an area of worry or something that you're focusing on?
I think as far as the margin picture goes, honestly, we had taken 2 acquisitions in that quarter virtually, which did not really start yielding immediate results. One of the acquisitions was at a slightly EBITDA negative, which has turned around in the last couple of months to making a positive, about 6% positive EBITDA. So I think just a random quarter number also does not reflect the granular details of it. So we are not really particularly worried about the EBITDA or the numbers of that for one particular quarter. And also it could be noted that we had a top-line growth of close to 40% in Q4. So the sales have been quite heady and the market conditions are very, very favorable to this particular trade. So when we are looking at some of these acquisitions, we are looking our normal growth. We still maintain the guidance that we have given earlier, that we will, in the organic space, grow by about 25%. In our retail area, and the inorganic space with certain acquisitions that could happen. We see that once that fructifies, the growth would obviously be much faster.
Srinivas, before we let you go, the stock is still down about 6%. The street wants more clarity on is there anything that the street needs to know about the company, any senior exit, any institutional investors selling, any sort of concerns that you need to assuage?
No, I don't think I'm particularly aware of any such conditions on the market that who's selling and who's buying. But I think that is a market phenomenon. And I assure all investors, if anybody wants further clarification, they're most welcome to call either myself or my chief executive, Mr. Siddharth Mundra, and take any clarification.
And no senior exits as well, right?
Sorry?
No senior level exits as well?
No, I didn't get it.
Senior level management, are there any exits?
No, not at all.
All right, Mr. Srinivas, thanks so much for joining us with that clarity given. So look at that particular counter. In fact, that has really had dropped in trades today and had touched a low of 1,428 rupees per share and now is back at 1,700. So as much as the drop, the recovery has also been sharp, as you can see. And after the management really spoke to us right now, the stock is probably recovering a little bit, but still close to about 5% down. So as far as management is concerned, there is no hiccup, there is no concern that is really imminent, which is creating such a reaction on the stock, is what they have to say. But we will keep an eye on this particular movement as well. On to some macro cues and then which are really impacting the markets and we are tracking today. India's Q4 GDP data is due today and Q4 GDP is seen at 7.4%. Ekta Batra is right here to take us through the key expectations from there. Ekta.
Thanks, Nisha, for that. Well, for the GDP data this time round, we are expecting it to improve on a Q-on-Q as well as on a year-on-year basis. So it is expected to come in at 7.4 versus 7.2% Q-on-Q and versus 6.1% year-on-year. Now, in terms of the GVA, it's expected to also improve to 7.3 versus 6.7% and versus 6% on a year-on-year basis. Now, overall, the key factor which is going to lead the growth this time round has to be from industries. So industries is expected to improve at around 7.5% versus 6.8% Q-on-Q, led by the likes of manufacturing manufacturing, which is expected to come in at around 9% for the entire quarter. Also, construction is expected to do well with an 8 to 9% growth. Separately, agri is expected to continue its momentum, so 3.2% versus 4.1% on a Q-on-Q basis, with a range seen anywhere between 2 to 5 odd percent. So do watch out for any sort of upside surprise coming in from agri. And separately, lastly, we do have services without construction, where that momentum is expected to be sustained at over 8% versus 7.7%. Subsectors such as trade, hotels and transport is expected to contribute and see that momentum continue with around 8 to 10% in terms of growth.
All right, Ekta, thanks a lot for giving us the expectations on the GDP. On that note, let's also hear out what the Economic Affairs Secretary Subhash Chandra Garg has to say on the expectations in the fourth quarter GDP data.
You'll feed in various indicators which have gone in. It's fair to expect the growth for the quarter between 7.3 to 7.5%, but that's my own estimate. I have no information on this. Assumed growth for the fourth quarter is about 7.1% for 6.6. So if it turns out to be higher than that, that is where we have been feeling that we might move towards 6.7% for the fiscal 2017-18. But let us see how does that number finally come out.
All right, markets in good shape, actually touching the high point of the day, but it's time to slip into a short breather on Business Lunch.
Welcome back. This is Business Lunch. A shade of green across the global markets as we speak. Concerns easing with regards to the Italian political uncertainty. Barring the DAX, both the CAC as well as the FTSE up about 1/5%. The Italian index as well, after falling 2.7% 2 days ago, gained in yesterday's trading session and continues that gain with about 0.5% on the green side today. Just keep an eye out on our markets as well. The Nifty IT index has moved to the high point of the day. All the large cap IT stocks at the high point of the day, barring TCS, which goes ex-bonus, so under a bit of pressure. But let's move on. The taxman, they go slow on the canned share sale as valuations slump. Tax recovery of 9,000 crore temporarily on hold. Sapna Das joins in with more details. Sapna, good afternoon.
Hi. So basically, this is an ongoing tax, dispute with Kane UK. There is also an international arbitration that is on parallelly. Having said that, way back in 2014, the taxman had got the provisional attachment order, for the earlier 9.8% shareholding that Kane UK had in Kane India, and then the merger also happened much before that. So basically, now the shares are being held, in Vedanta. 9.8%, probably around 5% right now, not so much in the shareholding, but basically the number of the shares are 18 crores. Now, this has been a long-standing issue. Last year in June, they also got a complete clearance in terms of going ahead with the final attachment order. But so much of time has passed, and what has happened in the meanwhile is that the valuation has gone down. So basically, the taxman was targeting at least 6 to 6,500 crores from the sale of these 18 crore shares, and the plan was to basically do it through a block deal. But now with the slump in the share price, also this Tamil Nadu government order on the copper plant of Vedanta, the taxman at least is anticipating further dip in the valuation. So they have been now advised by the broker to go slow on this on this transaction. So basically what it means is that no recovery for the taxman as far as the Kane UK dispute is concerned.
All right, so the market valuations really impacting that taxman's calculation as well. Thanks so much, Sapna, for getting us all those details. Take a look at Fortis Healthcare. That stock is in the green, and the ongoing saga for that particular deal really goes on and on. We know that there is a fresh bid issuance that has been called for by the new board of Fortis Healthcare, and today is the last day for the expression of interest by 5 p.m. So all the interested parties can really come in. Fosun and Radiant Life are expected to come in, and while we already have IHH, Munjal Burman as well as TPG Manipal in the fray. But the deal scenario just doesn't end there, because we have another large transaction that is expecting expression of interest today. Air India expression of interest deadline also ends today, and will government really find buyers for Air India? Let's get a sense from Ashpreet Sethi, who's been joining us and picking up a lot of details from our sources. Tell us, Ashpreet.
Well, it's hardly any hours left as far as window that will close for Air India bids or the formal expression of interest showing that the company will be putting in bids is concerned. Now, 5 p.m. is the deadline. We're still picking up from sources that there isn't a single bid that has been put in as of now. However, as the aviation secretary had said yesterday, that he is expecting most of the buzz or bidders to pour in during the last hour. Now, going by the buzz that is there in the market, there is a strong buzz that Jet Airways and Tata still might be in the race for Air India, but it remains to be seen whether they will be putting in their formal EOIs at all or not. But remember, a lot of airlines have gone on record saying earlier, like Indigo and SpiceJet, that they will not be bidding for Air India, but the option of being part of consortiums remains open for all the Indian airlines. However, there has been a lukewarm response even as far as global roadshows by EY is concerned. So we'll have to wait and see what happens post 5 p.m. today, whether the government will be making public at all the names of people who put in a formal expression of interest. Back to you.
All right, Ashpreet, thanks a lot for that.
All right, let's take a look at the market and Bank Nifty. That's almost 1% up in trades today, and a lot of that momentum is being supported by HDFC Bank, which is seeing a very good trading session. Tech Mahindra is another stock which is in focus, is up over 4%, so is giving a lot of support and momentum there as well. Sensex and Nifty 0.6% up. So markets looking good at the high point of the day, but it's the mid-cap index which is trying to really recover, but still 0.3% down in trade. So advanced declines still heavily in favor of the declines. Now on to the top political story of the day, and counting of the votes in the by-elections to 10 assembly constituencies and 4 Lok Sabha seats is underway currently, and Maria Shakil of CNN News 18 joins us with the highlights on that one. Maria, every bit of elections and the results are being extrapolated to see the 2019 elections. What are we gathering today?
That's right, because these elections, first of all, are a test, a litmus test, I should say, for opposition unity. Because if the Grand Alliance which has come together of Samajwadi Party, BSP, Congress and RLD is clearly leading, and if this victory margin actually holds, they are heading for a decisive victory in bypolls of Kairana. Again, it's a very important message that is going to the BJP, that when it is BJP versus all, and if it's arithmetic which is in favor of these parties, then BJP is at a disadvantage. Moving focus to, say, Maharashtra, where in Palghar the BJP has managed to really retain that. It looks like that the Shiv Sena will have to recalibrate its strategy. It cannot really have an adversarial approach that it has been having so far, despite being an ally of the BJP, despite being in government both in the state and in the center. And hence the questions will be asked about what will be the course correction of the Shiv Sena, whether they will be walking away from the NDA or in that case also. I think overall the message that is going is that just as opposition parties coming together could be advantage the opposition parties, but it is also signaling a message to the BJP that in the run-up to 2019 they will have to go out and look for new allies, more trustworthy allies. And again, a very important message also coming from the state of Bihar, where RJD has won the Jorhat assembly constituency. There, the message is that Nitish Kumar is losing ground, and he is in a bit of a catch-22 situation, because he has put out that demand of a special status for Bihar, and that has been completely ruled out by union government so far, because it is constitutionally untenable. And talking about various messages, so Nitish Kumar is in a catch-22 situation. The message coming from Uttar Pradesh, where the BJP had won 73, let's not forget 71 won by the BJP, and 2 in its partner, 73 out of 80. It was like a massive victory for the BJP in the state of Uttar Pradesh. And now, in the run-up to 2019, if these permutation combinations of the ally or of the opposition seems to be working, then the BJP will have to go back to the drawing board and come out with new strategy as to how will they really mobilize their cadres and, of course, the voters.
All right. Thanks a lot for that, Maria. A few days after media reports of Patanjali launching its own brand of SIM cards, the company has announced its foray into the messenger service business yesterday with a messaging app called Kimbo, aimed at competing with WhatsApp. However, less than 24 hours after the announcement, the application has been taken down from both Google Play and Google Play Store as well as the Apple App Store. Kimbo means "how are you" in Sanskrit. CNBC TV18's Kevin Lee joins us. Kevin, Kimbo.
Well, if you ask that question to Patanjali, what's up, loosely translated in Sanskrit to Kimbo, the answer would probably not be very good right now, because less than 24 hours after launching this instant messaging service, which Patanjali said would compete with the likes of WhatsApp, it's been taken down from both the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Now, the app was released yesterday and amassed over 50,000 downloads. But then things started to go downhill when a lot of people on Twitter started reporting security loopholes in the app. French cybersecurity expert Robert Baptiste even claimed that he could gain access to all messages that were being sent on this. So clearly something was wrong with the security of that app. Also, the descriptions and the screenshots on that app page on the Google Play Store where Kimbo was listed were identical to another chat app called the Bolo Chat app. So now that app has been taken down from Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. The Kimbo Twitter account and website both say that servers are currently down, upgradation is going on, and they will keep us posted. So as and when those updates come in, we'll keep bringing them to you.
All right, Kevin, that must be the most versatile company, actually, I would know, from FMCG to now the tech-based messaging apps as well. With that, we are totally out of time on Business Lunch. Mid-Cap Radar will take the market action forward. Thanks so much.